In today's video, 6 ways to take action for equity. Hello, coaches. Welcome to our new series, Coach Better, Quick Tips. We are super excited to continue bringing these YouTube videos to you, but we just wanted to align them a little bit better with the Coach Better podcast, so we changed the name to Coach Better, Quick Tips. My name is Kim, and I am the founder and CEO of Eduro Learning, and I'm also the creator of the Women Who Lead project. And today's video reflects some of the insights that I learned from conducting those conversations. Today's video is a little bit unique. It's actually designed for white male leaders who are looking for strategies to support equity in their organization. So this is something you might want to pass on to your leaders, or it's something you might want to watch and digest and then share the appropriate strategy with your school leader. I know that lots of us are working in schools where we are trying to make a difference and we are trying to make an impact. These are 6 concrete strategies that came up from the Women Who Lead interviews that might be relevant for you and your school community. I've also tried to share them in a way that is palatable for school leaders who may not have thought about this in this light before. So the language I'm using here might be something you can just take and apply for your situation. All right, here are 6 ways to take action for equity, and they are suggestions for white cis male school leaders. So that's who I'm going to be talking to, but please feel free to adjust and apply them as needed for your school context. All right, here we go. Tip number 1 is don't center yourself. If you are not an aspiring woman leader with these lived experiences, it's not about how you feel or what you need or what you want to do. It's about listening and providing space for others. If you are not an aspiring woman leader, you might need to do internal work to shift your own mindset and deal with your internal biases. That may make it hard to be visible as a white cis male supporting women and people of color, but you can do that through your amplification of their voices and the actions you take rather than raising your own. That leads me to tip number 2, which is to amplify the voices of others. As an individual, if you have the space to lead any aspect of any organization, instead of you taking that space, can you create space for others who may not have a forum to speak out or an established audience to listen? So the idea here is to amplify the voices of those who are often unheard. Maybe that's space in your leader's newsletter, or maybe that's time in a faculty meeting, or maybe that's providing a forum for community stakeholders to hear an alternate perspective. Wherever you have space that you are normally using for your own voice, can you provide that space for others to amplify their voice? My 3rd tip is to speak out. As a leader, particularly a white male cis leader, if you hear racist or sexist behavior in your organization, speak out. Among groups of men, during hiring practices, in meetings, wherever you see this behavior, call it out and clarify that it's wrong. When men are labeling racist and sexist behavior to other men, it makes a bigger impact than you might imagine. When women share their experiences with you, please believe them. Find ways to amplify those voices to a level to where action can actually be taken. Rationally state again and again what needs to change to create a more equitable environment. Tip number 4 is to identify aspiring leaders. If there are women that you see as potential leaders, give them that metaphorical tap on the shoulder to encourage them into leadership. That support from others is what prompted many of the women who lead to start down a leadership pathway. Naming and sharing individual traits that tend towards leadership can be a huge eye-opener, especially for women. Often women don't see their leadership attributes themselves until someone else points it out for them. When you take the time to notice, identify, and articulate those traits, you are helping women build the confidence they need to take that next step. Tip number 5 is to do the work. As a school leader, you can make it a priority to do equity work. You can start by learning on your own to build your capacity for doing this work with others. You can provide opportunities for professional learning for your staff, for your leaders, and for your extended school community. You can spend time building committees to create policies that are anti-bias and anti-racist. You can do this work with your board and the parent community. You may want to hire an expert in this area to facilitate conversations, or you may have staff members who want to lead this work. Make time for it and make it available to everyone. If you'd like to see an inside look at how that kind of work can have such a huge impact on your school organization, keep your eyes peeled for an upcoming Coach Better episode with Ceci Gomez, Liz Cho, and Darnell Fine about their experiences in our Mastermind Ed Culturally Responsive Leadership. They talk all about how participating in that course has really had a huge impact on their school culture. If this is something you or your school is interested in doing, we will have 2 Mastermind Ed opportunities this academic year for you to participate in and to build that work around diversity, equity, inclusion, and social justice into your school PD schedule. Tip number 6 is to put policies in place. As you are building your understanding and building school-wide capacity, set up practices that ensure unconscious bias doesn't play a role in hiring, like blind CVs, and make it a point to hire people from a wider variety of backgrounds. If you look at the school's website and the leadership team is exclusively white men or white people, let that be a prompt for your thinking about the unconscious bias you have in your hiring practices. Overall, normalize seeing women, more people of color, more non-native English speakers, more LGBTQIA plus people in leadership positions. Give them a seat at the table. For sure, this is not an exhaustive list, and I am by no means an expert. All of these solutions were raised time and time again in the Women Who Lead interviews, yet many schools and school leaders are still not embracing these steps. It is likely that you have someone on your staff right now that has concrete ideas for how your school can move towards equity. Engage with them and take whatever the first step is for your organization. If you would like a community to reach out to, please explore our Women Who Lead program. The women who lead interviewed in the program have all had to confront these challenges to get where they are today. Thanks for watching today's episode. If this topic is interesting to you, you will love our Mastermind Ed cohorts. We have 2 coming up this year focused on social justice. You can find out more about those at edurolearning.com/masterminded. And in addition to Mastermind Ed, we have our Women Who Lead certificate program. If you are ready to leverage your leadership potential and build your network of inspiring female leaders in education, please join us for our next cohort of Women Who Lead. Women Who Lead is an 8-module online certificate program designed for aspiring and growing leaders, featuring the voices and experiences of over 70 successful female leaders from around the world. Women Who Lead will empower you to articulate your leadership potential so that you can overcome the many challenges faced by women seeking leadership positions in the field of education. If you are curious about Women Who Lead, we offer 1 global cohort a year, and you can start the program immediately in our self-paced option. If this sounds interesting to you, head over to edurolearning.com/women to learn more. Here at Eduro, we provide customized online professional learning for educators at the intersection of technology, coaching, and leadership. Our mission is to empower the relentless learner in you to embrace your inner leader and make a bigger impact in your school setting. Join our Coach Better Facebook group and connect with us on social media at Eduro Learning for more great resources at the intersection of technology, coaching, and leadership. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.